It's Rory Powers, Right Line Trading. Today's presentation, the AI Auto, and I'm going to be showcasing our new Leapfrog integration. And man, this trade gives you the potential for a home run on every single entry. It's really exciting. And when the markets start trending, man, this thing is going to be a lot of fun to trade. So stay tuned. I got some really great information for you. The AI Auto Trader is leveraging a very advanced machine learning algorithm that is a self-learning system. Before we get too far into it, and right before I show you a video of the leapfrog, I want to get the CFTC out of the way. The good Lord knows I don't want these nice people knocking on my door. It's important to know that I am not a licensed financial advisor, nor am I offering any type of trading advice. This video is only for educational and demonstration purposes only. If you're not familiar with the risk associated with trading, please consult with the licensed financial advisor. There is a significant amount of risk. With that being said, check out this video. This is the leapfrog in action. I was just talking about how this bot or this new integration gives you the opportunity for a home run on every entry. This is what I'm talking about. Let me set the video up, and it's a short video. This was on a YouTube live stream. I believe it was from Monday of this week. And just to set it up, I have on the left, what you see here is a trade copier. I'm copying the Power Play, which has the new Leapfrog integration, as my leader account. And I am, as my followers, I have 3 PA accounts. And that's where we'll hit the play button. You can see the trade has matured nicely into the direction of my profit target. And I want you to see how this trade is managed. The way the leapfrog, the way the leapfrog works is it has a really unique trailing stop that also leaps your profit target forward. Every time it comes within 25 ticks of my profit target, the stop and the profit target are going to leap forward and allow the trade to mature potentially the full excursion. And here we go. So you'll see that every time that price comes within 25 ticks of my profit target, this trade is going to continue to move. The stop and the profit targets will continue to move up automatically. So it gives it about a 50 tick bracket there of wiggle room. 25 ticks from my stop, and price is 25 ticks to my profit target. And when I get in the next window, it'll trigger it again. In just a moment. There it goes. One of the biggest mistakes that we make as traders, myself, I'm really saying this to me more than you. The biggest mistake I make is I cut my winners short. What we want to do is we really want to cut our losers short and let our winners run, right? This is exactly the spirit of the leapfrog. It's allowing our winners to run, which makes a tremendous difference in our risk to reward ratio at the end of the day or the end of the month or at the end of the year. Having those home runs makes a tremendous difference in the trajectory of our equity curve. And that's what this strategy allows you to do. is walk it up, hopefully to the moon. And that stop is going to keep locking in profits, and price is never going to reach that profit target. There's only one way out of this, two ways out of this trade. Number one is if it hits our stop, we're out. Number two is if we close the trade. We can manually close the trade on our chart trader and we'll be out of the trade. But this thing will just keep, as long as that market keeps trading, keeps trending without hitting our stop, it's going to continue to lock in profits. And man, this was such a game changer for our trading performance this week. And there it was on across three prop accounts on Monday morning. I was up $750 across all three accounts come Monday by 10 o'clock in the morning, which is really nice, about $2,250 combined. So that's the new Leapfrog integration that is now part of the AI Auto Trader. And man, is it an exciting integration. Something that distinguishes right line trading from the vast majority of our competitors is our transparency. We trade the system on a live market every morning, Monday through Friday, on YouTube Live. And if we have a bad day trading, there's no hiding from it. It's like a pimple right on the end of my nose. I can't hide from it. But that's the transparency that you want to see. Before you get into something, before you dive in head first, it's always nice to see what you're getting yourself into. My team here at Right Line Trading, our vision is to develop innovative trading strategies that provide our members with an edge. Right Line Trading has been around now for 14 years. I'm in my 12th year. I've been with the company a long time, and it is our mission. I know it says our vision, but it's our mission because we're very committed to this. Members of my team are working 10, 12-hour days, sometimes 6 days a week. Charles is working 7 days a week, not because he has to, because this is our passion. This is what we enjoy doing. And we want to provide our members with an edge. What kind of edge are we talking about here? Well, technologically speaking, we want to have this AI integration, providing our members with technologically a tremendous edge. But we have really as our foundation a core set of indicators that have been developed based on mathematical modeling. And what they do is they help predict the future direction of price. They do have some predictive value. Do we have the crystal ball over here or the holy grail? By no means. That's not what we're talking about here today. But we are providing our members with an edge. Along the way, over the course of the last 14 years, we've really built a beautiful community of traders with all experience levels. It's a wide spectrum from the complete beginner to the seasoned professional full-time trader, and every experience level in between is what you'll find in our community of traders. I always say there's power in numbers. It's great to be part of a community of traders because number one, you learn, what's working, right? You learn what's working for them, and maybe even more important, what's not working. Because believe me, we're the first to point out as traders what's not working, and we make it known. So that's the advantage of being in this community of traders. Just to give, and without going too deep into the introductions, because I want to get on with it, I do want to give my teammates credit though. So we have 3 professional traders on staff. We have 2 beautiful equity streams, 2 very viable paths to profitability here at Right Line Trading. The first being futures, that's what we're talking about here today. And the second is options. We have 2 great futures traders in Craig Emery and David Kushner. And the third professional trader on our staff is David Wise. And man, oh man, is this guy something else? He, it makes me think of, someone like Michael Jordan, someone at his craft that's at the top of their game. And, he just does the impossible week after week after week, month after month, year after year of winning 90% of his trades, which, if you've ever traded, and most of us have, we know how hard it is to win 90% of our trades. It's almost impossible. Okay. This guy does it consistently. And it just makes me shake my head in awe about his numbers. So we got really great traders. If there was let me think of the right word. If there was a trait that all three of these professional traders share, it's patience and discipline. You see, what they do is they have a game plan, a trading plan. These are etched in stone rules, except in this case, they're etched in their brains and their minds of rules that must occur on their trading chart. The technicals have to line up just so, and they have ironclad rules of conditions that must be met before they pull the trigger and get into a trade, because the software has defined these entries as being associated with the least amount of risk, the highest potential of getting a winning trade. Very much like a robot. You see, I don't have that type of patience and discipline. When I get in front of the chart, I want to get in a trade and I want to win, and I don't want to wait. I want to, I'm looking for instant gratification. These guys are very disciplined and patient. In fact, David Kushner, if you ever hear his webinars, he considers it a red badge of courage that he hasn't taken a trade in 3 days. To me, that's like watching paint dry. You're just sitting there looking at the chart. But in reality, what he's doing is he's sidestepping a lot of losing trades. And in his mind, and the trajectory of his equity curve, it proves it. He wins, 70, 80% of his trades, and he makes very good money. So that's really why I think that's very similar. Having that discipline and patience is almost like being a robot. And that's what we're talking about here today, are robots. Listen, we have a very educated, experienced, capable team on behind the desks here at Right Line Trading. I like to think also a good-looking team. But in all seriousness, Brock Miller is my right-hand man. Over the last few years, he's really learned this business, and he really is experienced now in every facet of this company. We have as our developers and our IT techs, really three guys that are, really highly educated, advanced degrees. Charles Sider has a master's from UCLA in computer engineering. He's an engineering through and through. He has his blood, he bleeds engineering, and he is extremely meticulous. He makes sure every I is dotted, every T is crossed. If you're going to buy software from a company, that's what you want in your developer, someone meticulous. Charles is him. Sergio Luque Rodriguez has a master's degree in computer science, and Mark Miller purchased the company. In his background, he has an MBA from Cal State. He's an electrical engineer, and his expertise is in robotics and automation. That's where all of his experience is. And he bought the company. I like to think of it as the perfect handoff. The previous owner left us with a great foundation of indicators that were all based on mathematical modeling, very powerful indicators. Now that we are in an AI revolution, Mark Miller takes the reins of the company and really leaps forward with this new integration and new technology that is taking our company into the next level. So it's a really exciting time. He's also a U.S. Army vet, and he's brought those core military values to everything that we do here at Right Line Trading: honesty, integrity, transparency. If anything that we do does not fit that mold, it is eliminated immediately. I assure you. Um, a little bit about the voice that you hear behind the screen here. My name's Rory Powers, graduated from Syracuse University, reside in South Florida, a stone's throw away from the Florida Keys. And my passion, I've had the privilege of talking to so many traders over the years here. My passion is not only trading, but saltwater fishing. I love to go fishing. And I have a small fishing boat down here that I have the mechanic. Unfortunately, he's fixing the boat today, so I'm kind of excited to get back out on the water. But on a recent fishing trip, in this picture, you see some beautiful grouper and snapper with Sergio and Mark. We had just a beautiful day out on the ocean. But let me tell you, my prize catch and the catch of a lifetime was my beautiful wife, Christelle. Christelle and I have been married going on 8 years now. We have two beautiful children. We have a 6-year-old and a 2-year-old. God has truly blessed us. My friends tell me I have more guts than brains, but let me tell you, they're crazy. I'm the happiest I've ever been in my whole life. And it's really, I thank God for bringing my wife into my life every day and these beautiful kids. So enough about me. Let's get on. This is my favorite slide of this presentation. I'll tell you why. This nice woman, I'm going to put they say a picture says 1,000 words. These were, well, a couple hundred words. This nice lady, listen, I say she's nice because she's dressed professionally. She has a business suit on, business attire. It looks like she might even be in her office, looking at the background. But what has happened to this nice, conservative, professional woman is she has watched the equity in her trading account slowly dwindle down to nothing, to where she just has nickels and dimes left. And what has happened over the course of this 6 to 8 weeks or 6 to 8 months is she's come to a bursting point. Okay. And I'm laughing because I know exactly how she feels. It's come to a head now, and she's bursting at the seams because by now, she's absolutely, there's not a shadow of a doubt that this is a rigged game. It's rigged. Maybe it's a conspiracy between the market maker, her prop firm, her broker. She doesn't know who's in on it, but she knows that it's a game being played, and she's the victim. And now she's resorted to the old sledgehammer. She's going to put that sledgehammer through that monitor and smash it into smithereens. And that is the genesis of the AI auto trader. I was at very briefly, I was at an investor summit, and one of the presenters there did a presentation on human personality traits. Really, as traders, our biggest pitfall is the emotions, our human emotions. They call them emotional errors or something of that nature, or emotional issues. But really what it is our own personality traits that have been passed down through our genetics. At the Investor Summit, the gentleman, and to give him credit, his name is Christopher Mullen, did a study on human personality traits and whether or not they lend well to being a good, disciplined trader. What he found, surprisingly, or maybe not so surprisingly, was out of the 10 main personality traits that we as humans all share, and we have a certain percentage of each one of these personality traits, but out of the 10 core personality traits, maybe one or possibly two lend well to being a good disciplined trader. Well, listen, that kind of sums it up. The vast majority of us have these personality traits that just don't lend well. For example, a couple of personality traits are the analytical. And I always think of Charles, the engineer. If you're an engineer, you're probably a very analytical person. And that's not bad. That's a good thing. That's your strength. And these are numbers people. These are people that look at all of the data, and they do not want to make a bad decision, and they weigh everything. They're very meticulous in going through the data, but maybe they're a little slow to pull the trigger. Maybe they're a little fearful, maybe a little gun shy to pull the trigger. Then you have your driver, one who wants to go, go, go. They might be the ones who overtrade. So these are some of the examples of these core personality traits that we all share. So listen, if you're one of these personality traits that just doesn't lend well to being a good disciplined trader, listen up, because we really have a solution for you here today. We've all experienced problems making money in our trading. As I mentioned, most of the time it's these emotional or personality traits that we share. On occasion, we bought indicators that just don't work, or lack of proven trading methodology, but it all leads to the same place, and that is blowing out our trading account. Ouch. So we've narrowed it down to two things that we believe are going to create trading success. And number one, I'm going to flip-flop this, is number one, we want software that can automatically get us in and out of trades to maximize our profits. Okay, we know that we suffer from these personality traits, and we're not very good traders. I mean, how many blown accounts did it take me to learn? It's almost like the very definition of insanity. You've heard it before. They say doing the same thing again and again and expecting different results. Well, that's insanity. And that was me. That was insane, because I would blow account after account after account and do the same thing over and over again and go to bed at night talking to myself about all the money that I lost, and I couldn't sleep. So number two, let's move on, is listen, unless you've been living under a rock, you've got to know by now that we're in the midst of an AI revolution. Oh my goodness. About a year ago, we were on YouTube live stream talking about NVIDIA. I was saying, man, I wish I got in when Paul Pelosi did. But you know what? I took a considerable chunk of my savings and stuck it in there about a year ago. And in the last year, it's almost doubled. And the stock was it was just before the split. And it split 20 to 1. I got in right before then, but since then, the price of the stock must be up 75%. So this is technology that we're really just scratching the surface of its full capabilities. You have NVIDIA now, which is a $4 trillion, has $4 trillion of market cap, just a monster, the biggest company now in existence. And listen, every sector of our economy is now leveraging this technology. Why? Because it makes everything more efficient. We have our limitations as humans. These are like having in a math class, having a calculator doing the work for you. I'm not kidding you. That's very much what it's like. It could just process a tremendous amount of data, lightning fast, and spit out the output, which is always right on point, and it's extremely accurate. So, I mean, every sector, entertainment, media, energy, agriculture, education, transportation and logistics, manufacturing, retail and e-commerce. Did you know that 95% of large institutions, hedge funds, investment firms, they're using AI algos to execute their trades? The number one sector, which I'm very excited about, unfortunately, I've seen many loved ones succumb to serious diseases, but number one is healthcare. And my prayer is that they find the cure to these horrible diseases. My God. Anyway, not to harp on that, but number one is healthcare, which is comforting. So let's keep moving. So the main benefits of using the AI auto trader, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you about the 4 ways that we're currently leveraging AI into our automated bots. I'm also going to spend just a few minutes and explain what's coming next, because we are so excited about this next phase of our system. And it's exciting because this is the reason Mark Miller purchased this company. He purchased it. We went into a collaboration with a world-renowned AI lab, which continues to this day. And this next phase is really the most exciting phase. And I'm going to talk briefly about where we're going with this. And then I have a really great special offer that I'll offer at the very end. So let's keep it moving. What I like to do for this next part of the presentation is I want to open up the strategy, and I'm going to talk about the 4 ways that we're leveraging AI right now. And you can see today, and I want to emphasize, this is today. This is one day. This is not an accumulation, a P&L of a week. This is what these bots did today. Okay, it's incredible. Imagine having the ability, and these bots, we have a beautiful diversified portfolio of bots that trade on all different instruments and time frames. We have our index equities. When I say that, what I'm referring to is in the futures, the NASDAQ, the S&P 500, and the Dow. We've also diversified into crude oil and gold. Crude oil and gold are not the most consistent bots. However, having them in our toolbox is very valuable. For example, when there's maybe some geopolitical unrest, like we saw, not too long ago when there was a war broke out in the Middle East. Well, the price of oil and gold was very volatile. And all of a sudden, our crude oil and our gold bots were at the very top of our leaderboard. So having those bots in our toolbox is very valuable. But this was the leaderboard, and I want to just go to my strategies, and I just want to open up the inputs of the strategy so you could see the exact AI integrations that I'm talking about as I go through them. Number one, we have coded into the parameters of our strategy. The technology uses what we call a bot and a drone. Each one of our bots runs in tandem with another bot. The difference between the bot and drone, the drone has static settings. We'll let the drone run 24 hours a day. It'll begin at 12 a.m. and the end time will be 12 a.m., which means it'll never hold a trade through the session break. So don't worry about that. But the drone is going to run 23 hours a day. And what it does is it shares a database with the bot. You think of a drone, you think of a small aircraft hovering above the landscape and getting a bird's eye view or an overall picture of the landscape below. Well, that's just what this drone is doing. It's getting into the market on a live trade, and it's learning what the average true range of the market is. It's seeing what the maximum favorable excursion, what's the maximum adverse excursion, what is the best position to put my stop and my profit targets in, so I have the best chance of winning right now. Okay. Listen, in the past, when we bought bots, the elephant in the room is they didn't work. They would get stale. They may have worked for a week or two or just in certain market conditions, but then they went stale. Or we had to constantly optimize them ourselves and run them through a strategy analyzer that wasn't even accurate and try to optimize the inputs that we didn't even fully understand. That's not how this one works. This one does everything for you automatically. And it does it with the benefit of this AI integration. Okay, that's the big difference. That's why we're having so much success. So the drone running 24/7 is going to tell the bot the 3 best trading sessions to trade. It might find during the Asian session to trade between 9 and 11 p.m. Or it might find in the London Open. We have a particular strategy that just does very well at the London Open. Well, it's going to lock in that time frame in your strategy trading hours. And then maybe it does well in the New York Stock Exchange during a certain window. Well, our mandate as software developers is not necessarily to get you into every winning trade. Our mandate is at the expense of not getting into every winning trade is to sidestep the losers. Okay, sidestep the losers. That's the biggest thing. That's what, if you ever listen to David Wise or David Kushner, the reason why they're so disciplined and patient, because they know getting a loser what it does. And that's what hurts us as traders, especially if you're, whether you're a prop trader or you trade a live account, nobody wants a drawdown. Okay, but those trading session hours are one way that we are able to filter out a number of our losers. The look back on our AI model is only 10 trades. So these are inputs that are constantly updating. Okay. We have 4 triggers, A, B, C, and D. This system is going to learn in what market condition each signal, which one it does best statistically in the current trading environment. Is it the signal A entry, which is really great if it's very volatile? Signal B in a trending market. Signal C is a pull back and go, pull back and go. And a D is another variation of the pull back and go. So depending on what performs the best in the current trading environment, that AI, that self-learning integration is going to only trigger the signal, the trigger that does the best. And then our trade management is really, listen, getting into the trade is so important. Just as important as how we manage it once we're in it is what we've learned. That's why we keep adding these extra components like the leapfrog. It's important to know the trigger to the leapfrog is something we call our profit window. Our profit window. But let me start with the ATM strategy. Let me tell you, we've got so many great ways to lock in profits on a one contract strategy. We can go for very ambitious profit targets and still lock in legs of profits on the way. So we could hit singles, doubles, triples, and get that occasional home run that's really going to make our risk to reward ratio lean in our favor. And that was the goal with this system. We want to eliminate, we want to get out of the losers as quickly as possible. How do we do that? We have what we call our candlestick pattern recognition. If we're in a long trade and the trade is maturing nicely to the upside, and then all of a sudden you get this big, ugly, bearish engulfing candle, well, the system is going to automatically exit the trade and take profits before that reversal that it anticipates is going to come, or the retracement back to the 50. It learns it. It knows how far overextended we are on the moves. And if it feels a reversal coming, it's going to get you out quick. Okay. Vice versa, if you're in a winning trade with this profit target window and leapfrog, and I just want to explain how this works very quickly. If I have a profit target window of 10 and a leapfrog of 10, just to keep things simple, and I have a profit target of 100, and I have a stop of, let's say, 50. What this is going to do, I could just put a trailer on my trade and trail it, just a standard trailing stop. We have that. But these other ways that we've learned work better. Let me tell you. We also have a break even plus or minus. So let's say if this trade goes 50 ticks in our direction, I want to lock in 20 ticks of profit. Okay, so win, lose, or draw at that time, I'm going to make $100. But with this profit target window, where it gets exciting is if price goes within 10 ticks of my profit target, or it goes plus 90, what's going to happen is my stop is going to fly up and come 10 ticks behind price, or plus 80. So I will have an equal distance at that point from my stop, and from price to my stop and price to my profit target. So I'm never risking more than I have the potential to make. But wait, it gets even better. Now with the leapfrog, this profit window is my trigger for the leapfrog. When that profit window kicks in, it's going to send my profit target moving 10 ticks ahead, and it's going to progress. And as the trade continues to mature, it's going to bracket those profits with my stop and profit target, making leaps further and further away, locking in more and more profits. So that's really how we've been able to have a beautiful, beautiful equity curve. Man, did we crush it this week with this new leapfrog. And that's how we're leveraging currently the AI integrations that we currently have. This is showing you the candlestick pattern recognition. Listen, the charts are very geometrical and symmetrical. There's certain candlestick patterns that repeat themselves time and time again. This is a self-learning algorithm that picks up on that and takes action accordingly. We have the drone and bot tandem that will only trade the trading session hours that it's profitable. If the drone trades between 9 and 11 and it does very well, well, it's only going to allow the bot to trade between 9 and 11. If it sees after 11 that it's hit or miss, the bot's going to sit on its hands. Sure, a few winning trades are going to go by and we're going to miss them, but look at all the losers that it sidestepped. That's the key. That's the key to this. And having that bot drone tandem is proven to work. So those are the ways now that we're able to leverage artificial intelligence. Now, where are we headed with this? Where we're headed with this is really, we are so excited about this new integration. Where we're going is we're now integrating into this with the new ChatGPT, with the 5.0. What we're able to do, they have what they call AI, they have what they call the ChatGPT agent. We kind of call it the assistant because it has a connotation like it's going to do all the trading for you. But you have to authorize and give it permission to trade as an automated bot. So it's a self-directed automated strategy. So the ChatGPT, the way we're going to use it is this new technology has outside connectors. It connects to outside websites and even our trading platforms. And it reads the database of all your historical trades. It's also going to connect to websites, for example, like the Forex Factory or Benzinga or Thinkorswim or any other outside platform that's streaming a lot of data regarding economic news reports or the market conditions or market sentiment. And what it's going to do, amazingly, it's going to be able to complete complex online tasks on our behalf. It's going to seamlessly switch between reasoning and learning across multiple websites, public websites and trading platforms via a connection to these third-party sources. And then it's going to transition into performing actions. It's going to make suggestions in real time. It's going to tell you what it's learning because it's picking up on a macro level what the sentiment is. If there was an economic news report that came out on, let's say, on the, just for an example, the FOMC, let's say, cut interest rates or something of that nature, or the crude oil inventory report comes out and there's an excess of inventory, and they think the price is going to go lower, it's going to tell you immediately whether you automate it or not is up to you. You could say yes and automate it, or say no and let it go. But it will give you the ability to take the suggestions of this artificial intelligence and get into these trades based on an enormous amount of data coming from these outside sources. So it's really an integration that the sky is the limit with the possibilities that this is going to bring. And we have like 3 kids that are like kids in the candy store with this AI lab that we're in a collaboration with. Mark and Sergio and Charles, when he has time, are all having a great time integrating outside connectors that will connect right with your NinjaTrader and connect right with your ChatGPT and take incredible actions based on the data that it learns from these connections. So that's where we're headed with this. I always get questions about full automation. Can I set it and forget it? Currently, you can. When this comes, it's going to be probably 5 times more powerful than what it currently is, especially regarding the set it and forget it. So that's where we're headed with this. So I think when you talk about automated bots, the numbers are really what matters the most, right? What have you done for me lately? How much money do you make? And listen, most vendors or anybody would be thrilled to have one bot that does well. We really have 3 or 4 bots at this point that are just doing extremely well. We have our 150 range on the NASDAQ, where you could see between April 28th and August 4th, after commissions, trading just one contract, this strategy was up over $10,000. That's after commissions. Now, it's important to know that this is not a back test or a strategy analyzer that you just can't count on the results. These are trades taken in a live market, okay? We also have an 8U on the Steven drone that's done extremely well. The 8 Unarenko on Steven from June 1st to August 4th is up over $13,500. A very exciting strategy to watch, that NASDAQ on the 8 Unarenko. We've also got a strategy on the 30 range that I'm going to show you the trade performance on. And this is what we trade every morning on our YouTube session. If you look at this is my 3 PA accounts between January 15th and August 8th. Over the last 6 or 7 months, you could see that I'm up over $37,000 trading the power play bot. And this week, let me tell you, we crushed it this week with this new leapfrog. That's a lot of data it's trying to project. Let's give it just a second. Okay, there it goes. Okay, so we're up to $37,000 trading this in automation across 3 PA accounts. This is all done on a 30 range chart called the Power Play. The Power Play. And if you ever join us on YouTube, you'll see the Power Play in action. I do see your questions. I'm going to get to them in just a moment. We have a couple of bots on the E-mini that are also crushing it. Here's the RJ 150 range. One of our members named RJ actually collaborated with Mark Miller. RJ came to us with this strategy that he really did a tremendous amount of work quantifying and going over the rules and conditions for the entries. And when Mark ran it for a month or so, he was very intrigued with it and made a couple of tweaks to it and got it really performing incredibly well. It's one of our top bots now in the NASDAQ. And between April 28th and August 4th, it's up over $14,000. Now, I want to just take a couple of minutes just to talk about our prop trading templates, which are going to be included in the special offer. Everybody's, I think mostly everybody's familiar with prop trading. Listen, the prop trading is stormed onto the scenes now and really is taking over. And we've developed trading bots that are designed specifically to trade, number one, your evals to get you over the finish line. Your evaluation is really the first stage of a prop account. You have to pass the eval. Once you've passed the eval, then you pay an activation fee and you get what they call a PA account. Every prop firm calls it something a little bit different, but it's all about the same. The PA account is, I know Apex calls it a PA account, and a PA account is really your vehicle to getting payouts. As long as you can conform to their rules, they have a consistency rule, a trailing threshold rule. They've made something that is hard to begin with even a little more difficult. But if you have something that you can do consistently, then you'll qualify and be able to get payouts like so many of us are getting right now. So we have bots that are customized to trade both the evaluations and the PA accounts once you qualify for them. Our one-day pass, really the spirit of the one-day pass, I usually like to show a video, and I'll show a very quick video now of a one-day pass. The spirit of the one-day pass is to pass the evaluation in one trade. Nasky, I'll get you in 1 second. I do see the questions. The spirit of the one-day pass is to take one trade and either pass or fail your evaluation. Okay, and in this video, you'll see Mark is using a trade copier, and he has about 5 or 6 evaluation accounts on his leader account, which is the one-day pass. And the trade, he's trading 10 contracts to go 62 ticks on the NASDAQ. 10 contracts is the maximum number of contracts on a $50,000 eval. And if you get 62 ticks trading 10 contracts, it gives you just enough money to pass the evaluation in one trade. So via the use of a trade copier, he was able to pass 6 evaluations on that one trade using the one-day pass. My slide says 50% profitable. I answer the phones here, and I'm going to tell you that you probably are not going to win 50% of the time. I feel comfortable telling you that 1 out of 3 you're going to pass. Statistically, it's 1 out of 3. We post in our Discord every week the 2 or 3 top one-day pass strategies to use. If you use those, you're going to pass 1 out of 3 statistically. Now, listen, this is trading. There is a chance that you pass all 3. There's also a chance you lose all 3. That's just the way. That's the way it works, But statistically, it's 1 out of 3 on the one-day passes. Okay, and we've got some that are doing really well. I showed you what we've pivoted to. Once we get our PA accounts, now we've passed the evaluation. We've paid our dues in blood, sweat, and tears, passing those evals. Excuse me for just a second. And now we've paid our activation fee, and we've got our PA accounts now, right? So now we have a little more, time in the game, and we have a little more skin in the game. And excitingly, we have a way to get a payout. So we're going to pivot from that aggressive strategy that you're trading 10 contracts and going for 60 ticks. I liken it to like in the last few seconds of a game, if you're down by 6 and you need a touchdown, you throw the Hail Mary. That's what the one-day pass is. The one-day pass is a Hail Mary. It's not something that's sustainable. It's not something you would want to do on every play. Once you've got your PA account, we go to something that's more sustainable, that's going to continue to grow your account. I use what we call our power play, and so we've really gotten very good with this particular bot. With this new Leapfrog integration, I'm thinking now that what was hurting me was cutting my winners short, and I was doing it on a discretionary basis. Our goal is to make $250 to $500 a day. With this new Leapfrog that has that trailing stop, that's also leaping the profit target ahead of us, it gives you the potential in a trending market to really make a significant difference on the risk to reward ratio. You can get some home run trades, but I don't want to be redundant. Across 3 funded accounts, I'm up over $37,000 since January. Listen, I've been trading for 10 or 12 years. I've never, I'm not kidding you, never have strung together 6 or 7 months and made close to $40,000 trading futures ever. Never, ever. Not even close. This is the first time ever. Okay, and I think it's a testament to this technology, and I only see it getting better from here. These are the payouts a number of us are getting. Many of our members are telling us about their payouts. And a lot of our members, like Judy, for one. Judy listen, I always think she's like the epitome of a trader, somebody that wants to supplement their retirement. If you're on a fixed income on your retirement, maybe Social Security or a pension, and you want to supplement that income, trading is, I can't tell you how many retired people we have that trade. Judy happens to be fortunate enough to be able to travel the world as she's trading and earning on these prop accounts. She sends us in pictures wherever she goes. I'm waiting for the new one. This was a one on the MSC cruise lines in the Mediterranean. Off the coast of Italy, you could see her portable trade station that she was trading with us on YouTube, live stream, right on the cruise ship. Then a few weeks ago, she was in Dubai. This was a picture of right off her balcony. This week, she joined us on our YouTube stream from Vietnam. All the while, she's making really great money. She's posting almost every day about the wins that she's getting. I mean, she's supplementing her income and traveling the world doing it. So that's one of our members, our success stories. Marcia's another one. Carol does wonderful. Suzanne, our female traders have really caught fire. Simon is from across the pond, and I always get members that are from Australia, Tasmania, Singapore, Canada, wherever you might be in the world. I always get questions, can I trade it? The answer is yes. We have traders from many different countries, and we're very blessed to have them as part of our community. These are just examples of some of our members that are having a tremendous amount of success trading these automated bots. Ron N., a Vietnam vet, been with us since day one, made $10,000 trading gold. Right when Trump did those, it was either during the political unrest or when Trump announced those tariffs. He scored big on gold. Suzanne is a leader in our trading community. It's very selfless. And let me tell you something about Suzanne. She's extremely knowledgeable. I've been reading what she writes in the Discord, and my goodness, she knows the system better than I do. Okay, she's extremely knowledgeable and knows exactly how this system works. But what makes it better is her willingness to help out our new members. If somebody has a question, she's the first to help, and we really appreciate that about Suzanne. And she's having a tremendous amount of success trading these bots. So my special offer. That's okay, Brad. Brad said his cat jumped on the keyboard because he typed in a bunch of letters and numbers. I'm an animal lover too, Brad. Thank you, Nasky. I'm gonna go over your questions in just a second. Let me do my special offer. Listen, it's a great time to get aboard now, to come aboard now. The prices, once we get this new integration come out, the company's putting a lot of resources, and when I say that, I'm talking about time and money. We're putting a lot of time and money into this, and obviously, if once that new integration comes out, I'm sure that the owner of the company is going to consider raising the prices. So that's why I think right now is the best time to come aboard while we're doing so well, and right before this new update comes out. You can get in at a 50% discount. What it is for the monthly. Instead, normally it's $11.98. And let me back up. This is going to include the full Monty. Okay. What I mean about the full Monty, we have beautiful, beautiful chart indicators, and we provide the chart templates for you. Excuse me. This is a strategy on the ES. We just released it. The ES8U scalper. This strategy takes absolutely dynamite entries. It's up $1,000 today, but this is one of the charts for the ES that we share with you, and it gives you just absolutely beautiful signals for entries that you could take on a discretionary basis if you want. If you have the strategy enabled, it's going to execute the trades and manage them for you. But my point is all of the chart templates come with the system. That's our discretionary component. All of your strategy templates. Listen, these are very sophisticated strategies. We're not going to deliver them to you without all of the settings already put in place. Okay? We're not going to expect you to fill them in yourselves. We're going to give you all the answers. We're going to give you every tool that you need to succeed. Okay? So with that being said, we're also including the prop trading templates, all of the one-day passes, all of the PA account templates, the power play template with the leapfrog, all of that, all of those new features are part of this special offer. In fact, there's nothing that you won't have. You're going to have the entire AI auto trader system. Okay. So with that being said, we have 3 sizes: the monthly, the annual, and the one-time. Now stick around because this isn't my bottom line price. I have some good news. The monthly normally is $11.98. However, through Sunday at midnight, you can get the monthly right now for $4.99. $4.99. On the annual, normally it's $29.98. However, right now through Sunday, you can get in for $19.99. For the lifetime membership, if you just don't like recurring subscriptions, by all means, it's the best value if you have the means. For $29.99, you'll own this on a lifetime license, which potentially will return dividends for years to come. So $29.99, you'll never have another payment, no ongoing maintenance fees. It'll be a one-time payment and you'll own it forever. Okay. Now the good news. I was speaking with the owner of the company, Mark Miller, who, let me tell you something about Mark Miller. To know Mark is to love Mark. He has a contagious enthusiasm about him that makes just being with him and listening to him talk, it just gets you feeling good, and engaged and alive. Anyway, Mark, like I mentioned earlier, was a U.S. Army vet. And he told me, he said, listen, I want you to give an additional $500 off to any of our members, whether it be them or their spouses, are in any type of field that's service-based. If you serve others, and it could be a waitress or a waiter, it could be a truck driver, it could be you're in the military, it could be you're a doctor, a lawyer, whatever occupation, if you're in service of helping others, whether it be you or your family member, if you send us an email to support@rightlinetrading.com, we're going to provide you with an additional $500 off either our annual or lifetime membership. Okay, so it would bring your annual to $14.99 and it would bring your lifetime to $24.99. The email address is support@rightlinetrading.com. And all you'll have to do is send me an email, send us an email, and let us know. And we're going to give you an additional $500 off.